You are watching Platinum Northwest TV News. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Philadelphia Mangoeng. Let's take a look at the news making headlines. First up, Northwest Police are concerned about the escalating incidents of service delivery protests, and the Northwest Department of Education works at improving academic performances in schools. In the business news, Finance Minister Gwarube will table the budget speech tomorrow. And in the sports news, the SA20 and SACA launch scholarship program for young cricket talent. We begin here. Police in the Northwest Province have raised concerns around the escalating incidents of service delivery protests in the province. According to police, the province has registered the highest number of protests nationally. 88 protests were reported in a period of 3 months, that's between October and December 2024. They said many of the protests have gone beyond demanding adequate service delivery to creating anarchy. Provincial Commissioner Major General Patrick Asaning stated that the police are forced to focus on crowd control instead of combating crime. In other news, the Northwest Department of Education has implemented the first push campaign to improve academic performance in schools across the province. Mafikeng Secondary School, which achieved more than 85% pass rate in the 2024 matric results, is among the schools which are currently implementing this campaign. The school recently hosted a meeting with parents as well as grade 12 learners where they entered into an agreement to support learners throughout the year. Now, the school management presented the school's performance in 2024 and its targets for the year 2025, emphasizing the importance of work ethic, academic commitment, discipline, and adherence to school policies. The MEC for Education, Viola Mutsumi, emphasized the need for hard work to begin at the start of the year rather than waiting until the end. In more news, Basic Education Minister Siviwe Gwarube appeared before the Parliament's National Council of Provinces to give an update on the state of schools, including water and sanitation issues, and outline the progress in the ongoing efforts to eradicate pit latrines. Now, Gwarube has set a deadline to eliminate all remaining pit toilets by the end of this month. Over 3,000 sanitation projects have been delivered under the Sanitation Appropriate for Education initiative, but thousands of children across the country still rely on pit toilets. Moving on to international news now, Greenland residents began voting today in a closely watched election brought into the international spotlight by a pledge from U.S. President Donald Trump to take control of the mineral-rich island. Since taking office in January, Trump has vowed to make Greenland a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark part of the United States, saying it is vital to U.S. security interests.
And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it. We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before. It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land and very, very important for military security.
Now, the island, with a population of just 57,000, have been caught up in a geopolitical race for dominance in the Arctic, where melting ice caps are making its resources more accessible and opening new shipping routes. Both Russia and China have intensified military activity in that region. In more international news now, earlier today, senior Ukrainian and U.S. officials have begun a high-stake meeting in Saudi Arabia discussing how to end Russia's war against Ukraine amid recent tensions between Kiev and Washington. The meeting included Ukrainian delegation leader Andriy Yermak, President Volodymyr Zelensky's chief of staff, as well as U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who chaired the U.S. negotiation team. Now, Rubio said that the talks would be focused around understanding what Ukraine would be prepared to concede in a peace deal, and reiterated that Ukraine would have to make concessions over territory that Russia currently occupies as part of any agreement to end the war. The talks come 11 days after a contentious White House meeting between Zelensky and U.S. President Donald Trump that inflamed relations between the two countries. And with that, let's take a look now at the business news. In the business news, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana will table the budget speech tomorrow. Now, the tabling of the budget was postponed due to political differences on the proposed VAT increase from 15% to 17%.
The annual budget is tabled by the Minister of Finance, but it requires the deliberations of the Cabinet before it is tabled in the National Assembly. Cabinet considered that although the tabling of the 2025 budget was scheduled for release at 2 p.m. on the 19th of February, a postponement is needed to allow for further deliberations to take place on the budget. Cabinet is united in the view that the budget must strike a balance between the interests of the public, economic growth, and fiscal sustainability. Furthermore, budget is produced and presented before the National Assembly according to rules outlined in the Public Finance Management Act. Section 27 of the Public Finance Management Act requires that the annual budget be tabled prior to the start of the financial year or, in exceptional circumstances, on a date as soon as possible after the start of the financial year, as the Minister of Finance may determine. Therefore, further discussion in Cabinet will take place in preparation for a new or amended budget to be tabled on the 12th of March 2025.
The Minister in the Presidency, Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, addressed the media in Cape Town yesterday.
The Bloomberg question on the approach. So the 12th of March is cast in stone. That's what the Speaker has announced. And she has announced that with the confirmation of Cabinet. And market-sensitive information will remain market-sensitive information. Yes, the budget is the budget of Cabinet, but the responsibility to table that budget, it's that of the Minister of Finance as assigned by the PFMA. As we have indicated, as Cabinet we're engaging, and there's a timeline that we need to comply with, and we are going to comply with to conclude the budget process within the mandate of Cabinet and allow the Minister of Finance to be responsible for the matters that relate to his responsibility as Minister of Finance. And rumors of contestation, they are just that, rumors, because in Cabinet we don't have political parties and we don't have people representing their political parties. We've got members of Cabinet appointed by the President of the Republic who serve at the pleasure of the President of the Republic, as prescribed by the President's Act that allows him to appoint members of the Cabinet to act collectively within Cabinet. And that has been made clear to say nobody is bringing a party jacket. We are there to represent the interests of all South Africans. There's a mechanism that has been put in place that we are going, so that you don't have rumors. We are meeting again on, there's a special Cabinet on next week, Monday, because you like to peddle and create as if it's part of that process to finalize our part as Cabinet and our input as Cabinet to then allow the Minister of Finance to do his part. So there are no rumors that you peddle, hey, it means there's no agreement, whatever. No, it's part of the process to say, because even when we've discussed, somebody has to go crunch the numbers and come back and say, what does this look like? What does it mean? So don't do peddle rumors. We're going to meet next week, Monday, to finalize our inputs to the Treasury so that we allow the Minister of Finance and the Treasury team space to do what they're required to do as provided for in the law.
Minister Godongwana is set to introduce the appropriation bill and table the 2025 Division of Revenue Bill, which Parliament is expected to process in the following months. In more business news, the rand has been pushed back and forth by volatile global markets this year, but appears to be finding some footing amid uncertainty. While the weaker posting means that it is a stretch from the 18 rand resistance level, it is indicative of somewhat calmer markets. US President Donald Trump started his term in February with a slew of executive orders that threw the establishment into disarray. Among his orders were threats of a looming tariff war with Canada, Mexico, China, and the EU. Now, this sent markets into a spin with alarming bells ringing for higher inflation. Economists expect the rand will continue to move in either direction quite rapidly thanks to the prevailing uncertainty in the wider global market driven by the unpredictability of the United States. And that's all from the business news. Your sports update follows next. In cricket news, SA20 and the South African Cricket Association SACA have launched the first schools SA20 scholarship program to support young cricket talent in South Africa. The winner of the SA20 schools competition for the boys and girls will each receive a full scholarship for a promising grade 7 cricketer, covering school fees, hostel costs, if applicable, and other expenses. This program aims to support the holistic development of young cricketers by providing financial assistance and access to a dedicated soccer player development manager for guidance. Next week's final showdown matches will be televised. Now, this will include integrity sessions to educate players on anti-corruption as well as anti-doping masterclasses in batting, bowling, and fielding from the likes of AB de Villiers, Dinesha Devnarain, and Creer van Wyk, as well as media training. Moving on to soccer news, Mamelodi Sundowns ladies began their title defense with a commendable 2-0 win over JVW FC in the 2025 Hollywood Bet Super League at the Lucas Moripe Stadium on Sunday. Now, the five-time champions, coached by interim coach Godfrey Sapula, took a quick lead when Boitumelo Rabale, the 2024 Golden Boot winner, scored the first goal of the season in the 20th minute. This was followed by an on goal from opposing goalkeeper Cassie Gordon in the 29th minute. Shortly afterwards, the home team extended their lead with an own goal again from the visiting team. Now, Sapula's side kept their composure and secured maximum points. Sundowns climbed to the top of the table with 3 points after their first game of the season, while JVW FC dropped to third place with 3 points from 2 games. And that's where we're going to have to leave it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow evening. Till then, good night and take care.